At that moment, something strange happens. The love arrow changes color to gold. Not only that, but the hero and his friends suddenly vanish, transforming back into angels. Meanwhile, one of the hero's friends secretly watches the heroine's best friend as he has developed a crush on her. She, unaware of his presence, is lost in thought while sipping a lemon juice, feeling lonely. She heads to the park and sits on a swing, gently swaying by herself. The hero's friend, still invisible, begins to push the swing for her. She is puzzled, wondering how it is moving on its own. Just as she is about to fall, he catches her. Suddenly, the love arrow's color changes again, and the hero and his friends reappear. The heroine's best friend is startled when she finds herself in the hero's friend's arms, believing she must be hallucinating. At the same time, the hero reunites with the heroine. She is overjoyed to see him again and rushes into his arms. They decide to spend the day together. The next day, the heroine is at the clinic when the late nurse's husband suddenly walks in with his injured dog. The animal is in critical condition, and she immediately begins treatment to save it. Meanwhile, the detective enters the prisoner's cell, only to find that he is dead. Beside him is another red notebook, this time labeled Sin of Neighbor. Realizing the pattern, the detective knows that the heroine is now in grave danger. She is the last witness left alive. Back at the clinic, she is performing surgery on the dog when the nurse's husband suddenly approaches her. The moment she hears his voice and observes his behavior, memories resurface. She recognizes him as the criminal she once encountered. Fear grips her. When he caught his wife cheating on him with her lover, he decided to kill her and frame her lover for the crime. It is then revealed that he was the one who murdered the prisoner in his cell. He is the real killer. He slowly moves toward the heroine, but she gathers her courage. Acting calm, she pretends everything is fine and casually asks him to wait outside. However, she already knows something is off. Once outside, he contemplates how to get rid of her. After completing the surgery, the heroine confronts him. She tells him that the dog's injury was severe. It had been struck with a sharp object on the head, yet it didn't collapse immediately, contradicting his story. Visibly nervous, he lies, saying the dog had gone missing, and when he found it, it was already injured. He asks her to take good care of the animal and quickly leaves. Shortly after, the detective and the hero both arrive at the clinic at the same time, checking on the heroine. They immediately notice that something is off. She looks shaken and scared. She tells them that while she was operating on the dog, the nurse's husband came in, and now she is certain that he is the murderer. The heroine begins to suspect that the dog's owner was responsible for the injuries. Meanwhile, the detective informs the hero that the suspect they had arrested is dead. A red notebook was found beside him, proving that he wasn't the real murderer. Realizing they have no choice but to work together, the hero and the detective agree to cooperate. They begin searching every house in the city to track down the true culprit. Later, the hero returns home, where his friends inform him that he finally has a chance to stay with the heroine for good. But dear viewer, the catch is this. He must take an arrow to a specific part of his body to prevent his transformation. However, the success rate is extremely low. If it fails, the arrow might strike his heart, killing him instantly. None of his friends have the courage to take the risk for him. Meanwhile, the heroine visits the hypnotist, telling him that she is now ready to recover all of her past life memories. She hopes that by doing so, she will be able to recognize the killer's voice and help capture him. Since the murderer constantly wears masks and changes his appearance, identifying his voice is the only way. The hypnosis session begins, and she recalls what happened 30 years ago. She remembers the moment the murderer kidnapped her, and finally recognizes his voice. It's him, the nurse's husband. Meanwhile, the hero's friend confesses everything to the heroine's best friend. To his surprise, she believes him. He then makes a request. He wants to go out with her every day until he fully transforms. He has loved her for a long time and always wanted to marry her, but now there's no time left. She agrees, and so they start going on dates, visiting different places and making beautiful memories together. For the first time in a long while, they are both genuinely happy. During this time, the hero desperately tries to delay his transformation. Suddenly, his mentor appears before him. "Kid, you're exhausting me. You still don't understand her worth, do you? You need to give up already. Just accept your fate." But the hero refuses to listen. Listen to me. I refuse to transform. I will live as a human and spend whatever time I have left with her. Why does his mentor's words sound like a warning? Sensing danger, the hero immediately rushes to find her. At that moment, the heroine is at the police station, preparing to give her official testimony. She reports the murderer's identity, having recognized him by his voice. The detective puts her in his car to ensure her safety. While they're on the road, he receives a call from his team. They have found the murderer's hideout. However, inside the detective's car, there's a bomb. No one notices it. The hero desperately tries to call the heroine. He screams at her to get out of the car immediately, but her phone suddenly shuts off. And just as the countdown reaches 0, the bomb explodes. The car goes up in flames. What is happening? We cut to a flashback, rewinding to the day before the explosion. On this day, the hero took the heroine to a special place. The very place where they were supposed to meet 30 years ago, before she died. There, he finally confesses his love to her. He takes out a ring and proposes. Overwhelmed with joy, she says yes. Then he tells her something important. He has found a way to stop his transformation. And so, he chooses to live as a human so they can stay together. Meanwhile, the hero's friend, who had transformed into a dog, also decides to take a risk. He must shoot the arrow at the hero himself. Gathering all his courage, he finally does it, terrified of the consequences. But dear viewer, he succeeds. The arrow lands in the right spot. Thank goodness. The hero regains consciousness, breaking free from his transformation cocoon. He screams in agony, fighting to save the heroine. Now, we return to the moment of the car explosion. The detective is left speechless when he sees the hero flying through the air, carrying the heroine in his arms. As he lands, he spots the murderer attempting to escape in a car. Leaving the heroine with the detective, the hero takes off in pursuit, determined to catch him. But the heroine is worried. His wings look strange. They have turned black. The murderer flees to an abandoned location, shaken by what he has just witnessed. Suddenly, the hero appears before him, hovering in the air. "I will avenge them," he says coldly. A fierce battle breaks out. The murderer stabs the hero in the stomach with a knife, inflicting a deep wound. Blood pours from the hero, but he endures the pain. With one final push, he shoves the murderer off the rooftop. As the murderer falls, he sees the spirits of all the people he had killed. Meanwhile, the heroine and the detective arrive at the scene, only to find the hero lying on the ground, gravely injured. She rushes to him, tears streaming down her face, begging him not to leave her. He reaches for her hand, and then he begins to fade away. Before her eyes, he vanishes. His friends disappear from the human world as well, returning as love angels. Days pass, and the heroine visits the hero's old house. She waters the plants, lost in memories of him. She misses him terribly and longs to see him again. Overcome with grief, she locks herself in her room, refusing to go to the clinic. The detective continues to visit her, leaving food with her best friend since she refuses to see him. One day, she finally steps outside to meet him. She tells him she's doing better and asks him to stop visiting. Hurt by her words, he agrees. He hugs her one last time before leaving. Determined to hold on to hope, the heroine returns to the mountain again and again. She prays for a miracle. She prays for her beloved to return. She reaches her 999th visit to the mountain. With just one final attempt left, she climbs the mountain once more. She prays with all her heart, but nothing happens. Losing hope, she lowers her head in defeat, and then a voice calls her name. She turns around, stunned. There he is. The hero stands before her. She rushes toward him, afraid it's just a dream. Tears well up in her eyes as she embraces him, tells her that he has broken free from the transformation cocoon and lost his wings. He is no longer a love angel. He will stay with her, living the rest of his life as a human. From afar, his mentor watches with a smile, proud that the hero was able to change his fate, all because of love. Time passes. We see the hero and the heroine living happily together. They have a beautiful daughter. As she grows, they tell her the legendary story of the love angel who sacrificed his wings to stay with his human soulmate. One day, they gather with their loved ones at a restaurant. Together, they share laughter and joy. After 500 years, their love has finally triumphed. And with that, the drama comes to an end. Thanks for watching. If you love dramas like this, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on the best dramas. See you in the next recap.